water skiing.
Fun.
But it's good to be back.
Well, welcome back to the heat.
Thank you so much. Yeah, really. Today will be the hottest day for the rest of the week. The numbers do back off. Humidity still kind of up there. We'll take a look at that progression through the next several days. Also, I have a lot of fun looking into the future, like 2 weeks in advance at a couple computer models, and we may see a tropical system bringing moisture to Southern California. Will that happen? Well, the odds are very low right now, but we'll take a look at it anyway.
All right, that's in just a few minutes. Thank you, Jerry. Let's turn to that top story this morning. We have an update on the pyrite fire. It's burning in the mountains of Jurupa Valley. It's burned over 551 acres. It's now 64% contained. Evacuation orders were issued for the fire on Friday. Those have now been lifted. CAL FIRE is asking residents to use caution in the area. The cause of this fire is still under investigation. And the Riverside County Sheriff's Department is asking for your help today in the case of a murdered Coachella teenager. On August 2nd, deputies found 3 teens suffering from gunshot wounds in Coachella. One of the victims has now been identified as 17-year-old Alberto Castillo Jr. He was killed at the scene. 1 month later, deputies say they need help identifying the suspects. If you have any information on this crime, you're asked to call the thermal station. We've got the number at the bottom of your screen. It's also available on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com. This Thursday marks the 24th anniversary of September 11th. Cities across the valley will be holding memorial events to honor those who died and those who risked their lives to save others. In Palm Springs at Fire Station 2, the community will gather for a reflective ceremony at 8:30 in the morning. There will be breakfast for everyone who attends that ceremony. And in Indio, they're holding their own ceremony at Miles Park. This will be a groundbreaking ceremony for a new 9/11 memorial at the park. It's a 12-foot tall steel artifact from the former World Trade Center. It starts at 9 in the morning. Again, that's on Thursday. And in La Quinta, the city will hold a candlelight vigil at 7 o'clock. It's at Civic Center campus. Fritz Burns Park in La Quinta is undergoing some upgrades. They start today. It'll be a new water playground and Park Plaza area. The playground area, dog park, and portions of the parking lot and grass will be closed while these renovations are underway. You can learn more about the improvements by heading to the newsroom tab of our website. And it's time now to know before you go, where we tell you about all the road work that's happening around the Coachella Valley so you can avoid getting stuck in traffic. Let's turn now to CV Sync Traffic Manager Chris Gunterson.
But we're going to start in Palm Desert. This seems to be a fairly disruptive project. This is the one that's on Cook Street. It's done by the Coachella Valley Water District. They're replacing water lines. I think it's for potable water, and it's been fairly disruptive. We got a couple of signals in red flash, a lot of changing traffic control. This is expected to go on for a little bit longer, probably about another month. To avoid this one, you want to use probably Washington Street or go over to Portola. Again, this is supposed to go on for about another couple weeks, 2-3 weeks. They ran into a couple issues, so it's going to take a little bit longer. The next thing we're going to talk about is the ongoing construction of the bridge in Palm Springs. This project is really starting to take shape. They've been pouring some concrete. They're starting to get the pilasters there. I would imagine they'll start doing road surface here by the end of the year, so it's pretty cool. And then the next step will be to do the other side of the bridge. So right now they're working on the west side, so all the traffic is on the east side. To avoid the traffic here, you want to use Mesquite or Sunny Dunes to head up over to Bellardo Road there. Again, it's not too bad in terms of delay, but if you want to avoid the traffic altogether, use Bellardo Road. So again, this is going to keep going on for a while. I think they're looking late next year to complete, but it's going to be nice to have that bridge there. Next, we're going to talk about a project that is very close to wrapping up. That's in Indian Wells. This project was partially on Washington Street and down there at Miles. They did some road improvements there. But right now they're doing the paving project along Miles in that little red section there. The pavement is down. Probably going to be doing the first coat of striping here this week, but they also have landscaping going on at the same time in the median. So right now the only closure is the eastbound inside lane. Not too disruptive in terms of traffic. This is a much needed improvement for this area because of the events that go on there. Safety tip for the week, big surprise is to have everybody slow down. We've had so many bad accidents here in the desert.
Take it easy out there. Our thanks to Chris Gunderson for that report this morning. And let's take a live look outside our Agua Caliente casino camera in downtown Palm Springs. No clouds out there, Jerry. You missed last week while you were out of town. You would have loved it. So many clouds, a little bit of rain. It was fun.
Being the weather nerd and away from work, I still checked my radar to see what was happening. Yeah, I noticed it was Tuesday, a stormy day. Yesterday, we had a little bit of moisture over the mountains. So as forecast, we did see a few showers and thunderstorms briefly over the Santa Rosa Mountains yesterday at 5:30 around the late afternoon hours. But radar right now clean over Southern California. Whole lot of sunshine, 60 degrees right now. That is not current, but 94 degrees is for Desert Hot Springs, 86 degrees at Yucca Valley, 92, 29 Palms, and even 100,000 Palms and Palm Desert. San Gorgonio Pass, 84 degrees at Banning, 90 at Cabazon right now. We are going to be tracking a disturbance. It'll stay to the north, but it will affect us with onshore winds that will pick up today, more so tomorrow. Temperatures today will be the hottest, 104 to 108. Our forecast highs today. Dew points in the 50s, just a touch of humidity out there with these numbers. 107 for Palm Springs today in Indio, 108 La Quinta, 109 at Rancho Mirage. But the good news is the numbers back off beginning tomorrow into the next couple days. Tuesday, out of Comfort Air 3-day, just above 100 degrees for many of us in the valley. Nothing but sunshine, drier air too, but gusty winds. 96 degrees on Wednesday will set the stage for a few days of double digits. I'll explain. Full forecast and the tropics on the way.
Thank you, Jerry. More headlines this morning. Jury selection begins today in the federal trial for the man accused of attempting to assassinate President Donald Trump last year. 59-year-old Ryan Routh has chosen to represent himself in this trial. Prosecutors say he perched a rifle through the fence on a golf club in West Palm Beach, creating a sniper's nest where Trump was golfing. Routh faces 5 charges, including attempted assassination of a major presidential candidate. And President Trump says he expects to decide on a course of action for Chicago either today or tomorrow. He's threatening to send in National Guard troops, citing illegal immigration and violent crime. The White House says it's been moving immigration enforcement personnel into the city as well. Officials say how Chicago residents respond to raids could determine whether the president sends in troops. For now, Trump is backing off his social media post that says, quote, Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War. Illinois Democrats say war rhetoric is inflammatory and a National Guard deployment won't help with crime. Instead, several suggest federal partnerships to reduce gun violence and to hire more police officers. And this morning, new moves by health officials. It's prompting confusion and concerns about vaccine guidelines and some new reports. NBC's Marissa Parra has details.
This morning, back to school is being met with vaccine confusion. With changing guidelines for the COVID vaccine, states taking some decisions into their own hands, including Florida, which is planning to drop many vaccine requirements for school kids this year. The state's Surgeon General, who last week compared the current vaccine policies to slavery, doubling down over the weekend.
Did you do any data projection of how many new cases of these diseases there will be in Florida once you remove vaccine mandates?
Absolutely. So absolutely not. The way you're portraying it is nonsense. We don't need to do any projections. We handle outbreaks all the time. So there's nothing special that we would need to do.
Parents wondering what to do.
If Florida drops the mandate, so many more families will then not get vaccinated.
A number of states nationwide are scrambling to create their own plans amid chaos at the CDC and recent changes implemented by Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
I've been brought in as the new manager, and my job is to shake up the organization.
Kennedy's sister and nephew joining calls for his resignation over his vaccine skepticism. The president last week weighing in on vaccines.
And I think you have to be very careful when you say that some people don't have to be vaccinated. Look, you have vaccines that work.
And now, another possible flashpoint of confusion. According to a Wall Street Journal report citing people familiar with the matter, the HHS plans to release a review linking autism to pregnant women's use of acetaminophen, the active ingredient in Tylenol. An HHS spokesperson tells NBC News, quote, "Until we release the final report, any claims about its contents are nothing more than speculation." The maker of Tylenol maintains their evaluations have found, quote, "no causal link between acetaminophen use during pregnancy and autism."
Study after study has actually shown that there's no causal link with Tylenol and pregnancy and autism.
That was Marissa Parra reporting. Still ahead on your midday news, our Mary Strong speaks with Assemblymember Greg Wallace about Prop 50. We have more on how redistricting could affect our county and valley. And we've got a live look outside for you, our Indian Wells Golf Resort camera, blue skies and some green grass there. Jerry's in just a few minutes with your full forecast, so stay with us.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating, and we couldn't agree more. Committed to covering our community. You're watching NBC Palm Springs at 11.
Welcome back to your midday news. Californians will soon be voting on new district maps with Proposition 50. Our Mary Strong sat down with Assemblymember Greg Wallace to tell us more.
California has jumped headfirst into the national redistricting fight after Texas Republicans approved new maps designed to give their party as many as 5 additional congressional seats. Governor Gavin Newsom and California Democrats responded with Proposition 50, a measure that would temporarily sideline the state's independent redistricting commission and allow lawmakers to draw new political boundaries. Supporters call it a necessary response to election rigging in Texas, while opponents, including California Republicans, argue it's unconstitutional and undermines the will of voters. The issue is now heading to a special election in November. Lawsuits have been filed, and the Supreme Court has weighed in, and even the federal government may get involved. Joining us now is Assemblymember Greg Wallace, who represents California's 47th district in Riverside and San Bernardino counties. Mr. Wallace, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on, Mary. I think this is a very important topic. My office has received nonstop phone calls on the issue ever since the legislature passed it to put it on the ballot. So appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Absolutely. What was your first reaction when you heard about California's response to the redistricting fight with Proposition 50?
You know, candidly, Mary, I was very disappointed. I think that You know, it's often been said, as goes California, so goes the nation. I don't think we get to say that anymore. It's probably more accurate to say, as goes Texas, so goes California. The reality is 2 wrongs don't make a right here. California's had the gold standard on the Citizens Independent Redistricting Commission. Texas is wrong to do political gerrymandering. California is wrong to do it as well. I don't think it's an appropriate response, and I was disappointed to see the legislature move forward with this.
Let's bring it a little bit closer to home. If Proposition 50 does pass, what would that mean for local communities like yours here in the Inland Empire?
Yeah, it absolutely splits up local cities, counties, communities of interest. When you're trying to sit there and advocate for the needs of the Coachella Valley, and one of our districts would now, as proposed by Sacramento insiders in these new maps, include Indian Wells, Palm Springs, and head all the way down to Vista. I mean, the only things we have in common there are sand and palm trees. That's not the way that we should be sending our representatives to Washington, D.C. That's not the way that we should be making our voices heard. I think it's absolutely the wrong approach to put political partisanship at the forefront rather than the needs of our communities and the needs of the Coachella Valley. So again, I think this is just absolutely the wrong approach, and I'm very disappointed that we're moving forward with it.
Assemblymember Wallace, thank you so much for sharing your perspective with us. We'll see how voters weigh in on Proposition 50 this November, but it's clear the redistricting debate is far from over. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me on, Mary. Really appreciate it.
Now, if you'd like to watch that full conversation with Assemblymember Greg Wallace, you can find it on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com. Let's go ahead and take a live look outside now. Our Agua Caliente casino camera in Rancho Mirage. Blue skies and a hot Monday here in the Coachella Valley. Jerry Steffen's in tracking those conditions right after the break.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating, and we couldn't agree more. NBC Palm.
Take a look at the clear skies in our Agua Caliente casino cam in Palm Springs. Looking good. A lot drier air than we had yesterday. Yesterday we did have temperatures kind of close to normal, a little below in Palm Springs. 102 the high in the city. 105 are normal. Today will be above that, but today will be the hottest day over the next few days ahead of us this week. Right now, 88 under clear skies at Yucca Valley, 92, 29 Palms. Couple 100-degree numbers, 1,000 Palms in Indio, 86. That's at Beaumont. Winds light right now, picking up a little bit out of the west through the San Gorgonio Pass, and even stronger winds expected later today and especially tomorrow. More on that coming up. Clear skies in our visible satellite. Some wispy high clouds over the Pacific Ocean, that's about it. Clear skies, plenty of sunshine for many of us. Radar, yeah, nothing happening there, of course. Clear skies, or Southern California for that matter. But widening out the picture, you can see some action off the coast of Northern California, all part of a low which is heading its way to the east. Also detect a little thunderstorm here in Utah. But yeah, quiet over Southern California for the time being. Now that low will stay to the north of us, but as it moves its way to the east, it's going to kick up the winds a little bit. Not so bad today. Wind-prone areas a little gusty. Today's highs slightly above normal by a degree or two. Here's another look at the ensemble forecast and the chance of rain today. Yeah, moving its way into the coastal areas of Northern California, but nothing for Southern California. How about those highs today? Again, kind of close to normal, maybe a couple degrees above it. 107 in Palm Springs and Indio. La Quinta and Palm Desert get 108 today and 109 at Rancho Mirage this afternoon. So the numbers are going to be above normal by a few notches. Overnight lows, clear skies in middle 70s for the Coachella Valley. Tuesday, there's that low. It makes its way a little more to the east, and the pressure gradient begins to tighten up between that low and a high pressure center. Although in the mid and upper levels of our troposphere, some of that will settle down to the ground, and we'll get some onshore winds that'll get a little gusty late in the day. So not so bad today. It's Tuesday afternoon and evening. In the wind-prone areas especially, we'll see 30-mile-an-hour sustained winds gusting to 40, and along the north of I-10 could be a little bit of an issue too. If you live in the wind-prone areas, you'll get those winds tomorrow. Surface moisture, touchy humidity out there, lower than yesterday, 50-degree dew points. We'll see those numbers drop tomorrow. Okay, temps Tuesday, just above 100 degrees, and then beginning Wednesday for the next few afternoons, we see double digits, mid to upper 90s Wednesday afternoon. Okay, Kiko, formerly a Cat 4 hurricane, is weakening right now, but here's the islands of Hawaii. It's going to make its way to a tropical storm status system as it makes its way to the northeast of the islands, and it's going to kick up the surf there. But this is interesting. I love looking into the future, the tropical systems that could form. Nothing happening for most of this week until we get to Friday. We could see a little tropical wave develop south of Acapulco, move its way to the west, and then the steering currents turn its way to the northwest. Now, what'll happen with the system? It could become a tropical storm and future major Hurricane Mario, according to this scenario. And then it makes its way to the north and could, by September 21st, pull some of that moisture into Southern California. And then we have another system developing that could be Narda. Stay tuned. Comfort Air, 7-day forecast, 107 today. A little bit of humidity, drying out tomorrow. 103 with gusty west winds in the wind-prone areas. Then a series of 90s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating, and we couldn't agree more.
NBC Palm Springs Sports Desk. Brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos. We have your game.
It's officially football season, and this year, College of the Desert's roster has a lot of familiar faces and even more homegrown talent. Here's Caitlin Kelly.
The names you cheered for under the Friday night lights are now turning heads on Saturdays. Still repping the desert, but now on the collegiate stage at College of the Desert.
It's a great feeling to be back home, man. I started since I was 7 playing on this field, so it's definitely electrifying to be back on the field.
His first home game back here in the school where he played his collegiate, played his high school football at. So he's really excited about it, and I expected him to really shine tonight.
With COD's stadium still under renovation, the Roadrunners are calling Cathedral City High School their temporary home. A true homecoming for O'Shea Wallace and a full circle moment for several teammates who once battled under those same Friday night lights.
Rivals on the same team. I think it's pretty cool because we already know what they're about, and so then you know how they're gonna play and what you're expected to play. So I think us coming together, it's like a unit, I would say.
This Roadrunners roster reads like a who's who of local high school football stars. Along with O'Shea Wallace and Aiden Subiga, wide receivers Aaron Ramirez, the all-time leading rusher from Coachella Valley High, and Ryland Risk from Palm Desert are also key contributors.
I mean, I think it's a great, I think the idea of College of the Desert to get all the high school guys in the Valley to get to come here and play, I think it's a fantastic idea because everyone here you can just build new relationships with, and players like TJ Bosley goes to Xavier up the street. He's one of my better friends, so it's just you would have never saw that happening, knowing the Cook Street rivalry and stuff. So I just think it's really cool, and I've become really close with a lot of these guys from the desert.
With NBC Palm Springs, I'm Caitlin Kelly.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating, and we couldn't agree more.
For all of our literature fans out there, you could soon own rare Jane Austen-related treasures. Sotheby's will be auctioning off some Austen memorabilia next week. One of the biggest items, a long letter she wrote to her elder sister, Cassandra. It's worth up to $400,000 just for that letter. Other items include a copy of Emma, the novel that she wrote. She sent it to an Irish novelist in 1816. It's the only surviving work that Austen sent to a fellow writer. So all hitting the auction very soon.
Nice penmanship.
Gonna put in a bid?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not for that one.
I'll pass. Look at the photo instead. Forecast. Well, today we're going to see hot weather. 104 to 108 above normal numbers by a couple degrees. 107 in Palm Springs, Indio, 108 in La Quinta. The numbers go down, though. 103 tomorrow, drier air, and then some double digits begin Wednesday.
Can't wait for Wednesday. More news at 5 and 6. We'll see you then.